Right. Okay, so welcome back. This is episode 2 of Implexus, a whole lot of nothing podcast. Jen's bitched us off this week. She didn't fancy it, so it's just me and
Slack.
Wiley. Yeah, we're going to talk this week about injuries. We're going to start with like what we've had as like injury history for us, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the perception of injuries for an athlete, as in like first person perspective, like what you're thinking as you're going through your injury or like trying to avoid an injury. And then we'll go into like a coach's perspective, because we've both coached people that are doing both really, like getting injuries, coaching them back, like rehabbing them and prehabbing, and also are they injured or are they not injured? But we'll get into all of that. So we'll start with you, sir. Talk me through a little bit about your injury history.
It didn't really start appearing until I got older. It just sucks getting a bit older. Although, like when I first started powerlifting, I wasn't coached. I was self-coaching, and that was the year where I got such a buzz that I competed like 4 or 5 times that year, maybe 6, and then I blew my back out when we started working at a new gym, working down at Pure Gym, and we got a bit giddy and started maxing out there, and then I popped my back, and I was out for 4 months or maybe a little bit more. It took I knew what, as I heard it, I was like, what was that? And I was like, shit, I couldn't even move. I had to get my partner at the time to help me put my socks, my boxers on and dress me. So it was quite difficult, but I ended up seeing a couple of physios. It didn't work out. And then I was on the NHS waiting list. And then when I got there, all they told me to do was to just rest and don't train. Obviously they want to cover their asses, don't they? But they told me just to rest and do some foam rolling, to which I nearly lost my shit, because I waited 8 or 10 weeks for them to tell me that. Eventually I saw someone that helped me, and we sort of got back on track, but it was a slow process. It taught me a lot. It taught me to be a bit more patient, actually start looking into like, training properly, stop being an idiot and just going how you feel, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's been way more since then. Went through a long period without any injuries, because I started getting a coach for my Alex and that, and regular deloads. Worked out that I would do really, really well in 4-week blocks. And I've been pretty good ever since, until I started getting older and I got to like 35 onwards. I was like, shit, that never used to feel that before. So just not recovering as well as I used to nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you did your back, at that point, were you competitively powerlifting, or just like gym bro fucking around?
No, that was me, just competitive powerlifting. So I did that. I came back pretty strong afterwards though, but there was a long time where I was really tentative. I was like, oh man, is it gonna go again or not? But nowadays, it's nothing that ever sets fear in me. Mm-hmm. I think the thing that really shits me up is like knees, because I feel like we've seen recently a lot of really, really good lifters blow their knees out, and I trained with one of them, and when his knee went, I was like, fucking hell. And for the last year and a half and so, my knee's not been great, my right knee, and I was always thinking, man, it just doesn't feel like it's stable when I get to the bottom. Maybe I've got arthritis in there, because it got to the point when I was like, sometimes when I take the dog out for extra walks and stuff, like, oh man, it just doesn't feel good. Or I wake up first thing in the morning, like my knees are shot. But I figured out what it was. I went to see, I've seen Mario, I've seen Mofo, to sort of figure out what it is. And it was just a pinched nerve from excessively sitting, doing admin, driving long distances, having my leg bent like this all the time. So that behind that, just as soon as it pinches, it's really, really painful. But back to squatting now again in wraps, and there's been no issues for the last couple of 3-4 weeks. Yeah. Which would. But before then it was getting bad. And just before then Mike popped his knee, so I was thinking, fucking hell, I don't know how much more I can give mentally. Yeah. Because I think, is my time coming up, is something like that going to happen to me? But
yeah. So like when you did your back the first time, how did you get back from that? Like mentally, how did you start lifting the weights again and not thinking like, oh my God, is my back gonna go? Like this hurts. Like, is this okay pain to feel, or is
Yeah.
this like a pain that I shouldn't be doing it?
I think I was just experimenting with it a lot. All I did was I ended up just doing like went back to sort of a bit of a bro split, more upper body focus, because I knew that if I can't deadlift, I probably can't load my I couldn't load my back to squat. So I thought I went back to do mostly machines, although it just gave me more time to sort of improve my bench, which was my like weak lift anyway. So it gave me a different sort of motivation and focus. We just had to do. I did a lot of machines, like leg pressing, single leg. We had all the hamstring curl isolation machines. Walking lunges was just about bearable. Eventually, we moved on to rack pulls off high blocks. Then every so often, based on how my body was feeling, I would just probably take a bumper plate away, and eventually it was just pulling it from the floor. And that's how I slowly sort of build it back in, really.
Yeah.
I did pretty much like, say, 10 sets of 3 on a lightweight just to build the volume back in. So reduce the risk of injury there. Rather than, because obviously the longer the set goes on, the more tired I get, and that's when I'm more at a risk of high risk of injuring it again, I guess.
Yeah. Fair. And then coming up to like present day, how do you get around again like the mental pressure of like I could go in the gym and I could get an injury, like I could, like you say, you could pop your knee, you could like do a bicep. Like how do you think about that, or is it just like that has to be like out your mind completely?
It's never out of my mind. It's back. I always trust the guys that have got me. I mean, there's been 2 preps before back to back, I think, and it was one of them where they're both in the monolift. To be fair, I've never fucked up that bad on a. Or did I? I might have been. It might have been for one of the abs pros where I walked out 300, and the squat went fine, and I came up and I was like, just wobbled. They caught me though, so like I back the guys. I trust them. There's times when I just bring the bar out. I'm even thinking, I don't know if I've got this, and I just sort of just do what I normally do, go autopilot, brace, get in and just try and get out. I know that if worse comes to worse, they'll catch me. You just got to trust your crew.
Yep.
So the fear's always going to be there, but I know that worse comes to worse, they'll catch it, unless it's Owen. Owen doesn't catch it, obviously. That's how Mike went down. But for deadlifts wise, if the back goes, I've been there before, it's not the end of the world. There's a couple of times where like I've pulled and I've popped it again, and then what happened? I went for a hiking weekend, so it's 2 days of just walking around in Wales, and I was like, God, I came back, I was like, fine, and I just went back into deadlift the week after. So I just needed loads of movement in there rather than sitting around, lounging, feeling sorry for myself, and just let it seize up. Getting heat in there, getting movement was the best thing for it, really.
Yeah.
A lot of people, like clients as well, like once they might tweak their bag or have a niggle, they instantly go to the river to just, all right, I need to shell up and not do anything, protect myself. But if anything, that just makes it worse.
Yeah.
You're so much stiffer.
Yeah. Yeah, like I can, looking back now at like my injury history, it all stems from like the bro days of doing too much, and like I know it, and like
You got injured doing bro stuff.
and like
Who gets injured doing bro stuff?
at the time, I was at Village Gyms. I was PTing in Village Gym, and I was like, powerlifting wasn't on my radar at the time, but like being strong was. So I was like, right, squatting, deadlifting, they're like my 2 things. Cause like benching was never like a big thing for me. I'd dumbbell like press, but I never ever had like a spotter. So I'd die. Cause it's on like commercial gyms that don't have any safety arms, anything like that.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
If you hurt yourself, they just look and just be like, oh, he's an idiot.
Yeah, exactly.
Serves him right.
So like benching wasn't on my radar. It was always dumbbells. So like that was like the safe option for me.
Yeah, I didn't never bench till powerlifting. Like dumbbell pressing was just what you did, right? Straight in.
But then again, like with it being like just me in a commercial gym, but even when I was squatting, so deadlifting would be the only thing that I would like go for like 1 rep maxes on, or like 2 rep maxes.
Yeah.
Squatting, I was again always too scared to get stuck under the bar. So I was doing like 10 reps. And when I talk like 10 reps,
GVT, gym and volume training.
I was like 10 by 10 or I was
Yeah.
like 5 by 5, like, and that was 2-3 times a week because I was like, yeah, I'm getting stronger.
You're just indestructible as a kid. When
Yeah.
you're young, you're just indestructible.
And I was like, I was fucking smashing it. Like I was, for the time, I was like, what, 17, 18. I was barely 60 kilos because at the time as well, I remember I was training for like the Royal Marines fitness tests.
Fuck.
And so I was doing like a lot of running, a lot of fitness. And I was like barely 60 kilos. I needed to get to like 62 for their like minimum weight. And I was squatting at like 5 by 5, 140, 150 was like where
That's
I
fucking
like
big, that.
just pushed to. And that was like, yeah, 5 by 5. I'd go like 10 by 10 on like 100, 120. And I was just like fucking smashing it all the time. And then my knees, I was like, this is hurting. Like this is now
Because
starting
you would have had
hurt.
to do a lot of running, right?
Yeah.
It's just loads of miles there.
So like I got to a point where like the tendonitis in like both knees was like unbearable to like do anything. Like a bodyweight squat was like a no-go at that point. And I was like, shit,
That bad.
like I've fucked this. So I did like a lot of rehab for them, but not enough and not the right stuff. Again, looking back now, I wish I knew what I knew now in hindsight, but I would go to it was a chiropractor at the time, went to the chiropractor, they did what's it called? Is it ultrasonic? You know, the thing that like fucking just smashes into your knee like 1,000 times a second.
Oh, shockwave.
That's it. I did a load
like a
of
pen with a ball in it, right?
yeah. I did
So
a
comfy,
load of shockwave, and then I did the shockwave, and I was like, all right, this feels better. So I squatted the next day, and then the day after, I was like, oh fuck, I fucked it again, and it was just a repeat cycle of that basically. And then
So with that, then you'd have to literally just rest.
yeah,
I guess you just swim. At least you can just still keep your fitness up.
yeah. So yeah, it got to a point where I was like, right, okay, I actually need to rest. So I cut squats out. I was doing like a fair bit of bodyweight stuff, a fair bit of like TRX stuff as well, and like plyometrics. And I went back into like sport at that point. So I was like rugby, cricket. Then went to uni, got into powerlifting, and I was like, all right, my tendonitis, it's there in the background, but it's not like unbearable. So I just like went through it. Went to my first British, I was 21. I went to British Opens, and on my third squat, I felt like a tear in my quad. And I was like, oh shit. Then at that point, I really got stuck into rehab, but through the point of like, I went to a physio and he was just there to take my money. Like I went there and he was like, yeah, we'll do a massage today. And like, it was £50 for like half an hour and it was a massage. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. This feels better. And then like 2 hours later, I'm like back in pain again. Like I'm driving, at the time I was driving like a little sports car, and just the position I was in, I had to like brace my leg against the like center console to like get blood flow in there, because if there was nothing, I was just in agony the whole time. And I did that, saw him for, I don't even know, a couple of months, and I was just like, yeah, like this is just ridiculous now. Like nothing is happening, nothing is getting better. And at that point, I really like switched on to how you can have good and bad physios.
Yeah.
So then I came to see these guys perform Ready, and it was Ben. And Ben was like, he did an ultrasound and then he did dry needling, and he was like, yeah, like there has been a tear there. You've got loads of scar tissue, but your body is made up of like collagen, which is as strong or stronger than steel. Me massaging with my thumbs is not going to break that apart. Like you have to load this. And then at that point, I was like, right, now it's clicking in my brain. Like now I understand how to rehab and prehab people from like injuries. It's not just as easy as like a massage, a foam roller, like get a lacrosse ball in there. I'm like, right, okay, I'm understanding now. So that happened. Like I did a fair amount of rehab on that, but it's like it's never the same. That was like,
Is that bad? It wasn't off the bone though, was it?
No, it wasn't off the bone. It was right in the middle. It was there. There's still there is a divot like there, but just from I got back into squatting maybe prematurely, maybe not prematurely, but I had like an imbalance, and just from everything that was happening in my body of like the tendonitis hadn't gone. So if I'd go slightly to like my right hand side, which was the side that I didn't tear, it would pull on my adductor, and then I'd get really bad like SI pain on that side. Right. So at that point I was just juggling all these injuries. I didn't want to stop powerlifting because I was still like pushing numbers. I was still competitive on the national stage, and it was like, right, I either stop powerlifting for a while, take this like serious, or like I just prep for the next one. And the next one was always like 6 months away, and I was like, okay, I'll do that.
You just think you're indestructible when you're a bit younger, though, don't you? Like, that'll be fine. That'll be fine. It's always fine till it's not fucking fine and it's too far in it.
And then like my last two British were like just unbearable, as in like I would.
Were you riddled then?
Yeah, I did a comp. I was like, right, I need time off because like getting into the competition, like the run up to it was just brutal. Like I did one where I did
cut weight as well, and you don't have a 24-hour weight.
Yeah, it was 2 hours, and I was cutting weight. I was consistently having to keep my body weight like quite low anyway, and then I was doing like a little bit of a water cut, and there was one prep. I can't remember what year it was. It was my second to last. I did no prep for it. Like when I say no prep, I did one single.
Week 1, day 1.
Yeah, and like for the 4 months leading up to that competition, I maybe did one single at above 70%. The rest of it was just like trying to get under a bar, and that was brutal. So I did that comp. Still came second in that, and I still pulled for a British record. I dropped it on grip.
Because you did so little, did you start to flag earlier on in that comp? Your comps are quite good because obviously they're running just back to back.
Yeah, they're quick.
But did you start to flag because you didn't know work?
I was all right on the day, but it was like my top end. Like I was failing lifts top end because I just couldn't control the bar. Like I had no consistent movement pattern there because I'd just not done it. So then I was just trying to push that, didn't work. Like what was in my mind, I was like, all right, if I had a good prep, if I hadn't been injured, if these hadn't have all happened, I would have been like at the top of the podium, and I would have been sitting like with 2 British certificates saying I've got the total record and the deadlift record. So I was like, right, next comp was even closer. It was like 8 months away because they'd moved the date of the British. So I had 2 months off, like trying to rehab, get better, and then like that was a prep where my prep went as well as it ever has. I was still like niggling with injuries, but it went as well as it could have gone, and I stepped on the platform and my lifts didn't go too badly. I say that, I lifts didn't go too bad. I went like 5 for 9. But like the numbers were very close. Like I PB'd on my second squat. The third squat was like I was pushing that third squat to try and stay in like podium contention. Like there was a number in my brain that I wanted for a total, and it was like to try and get that. Bench has always been a little bit weird in competitions. Like I'd always get 2 and I'd never get my third, and it was pretty much a similar story on that day as well. And then deadlifts, I got my opener, and then I failed my next 2 again, just because like I don't know if it was, I don't think it was the cut. Nerves don't really get to me too much, but it was the point as which like my body was beaten up.
Yeah.
And at that point, like after benching, like my left arm was just numb. I could feel like my back going as well, and I was just
nothing worse when you know like I've done that before. Come off a squat, really fought for it, and like I'm already cramping, and I've got bench next, and then I've got to pull.
Yeah, and by the time I got to deadlifts, like that was like just no juice left in the tank. There was nothing like in prep. They'd all been like firing, clicking off the ground, like what we've spoken about before. It's like just you wedge in with your sumo and it's like already coming off the ground. It's weightless. In that comp, it wasn't. And then at that point where I was like not feeling my left arm, I was saying to D, where's my coach? I was like, mate, just fucking like wiggle my arm about, like do something. Like I cannot feel it. So it was there, like my arm above my head, just trying to get like a little bit of blood in it. And yeah, and at that point I knew, I was like, this is my powerlifting done now, because I can't prep with this amount of injuries. I can't juggle all these injuries and keep pushing weights, and it's just not coming off.
So do you think like maybe if you didn't compete so close together and you weren't as riddled, that you'd probably still have a love for powerlifting and still be competing now?
Probably, yeah. Like if it sounds weird, if I wasn't at that like higher level of powerlifting, if I wasn't like within like touching distance of those records, I would probably still be doing it, because I wouldn't have had like the massive disappointment of like, don't get me wrong, like I still came away with a British total record.
Yeah.
In the, I can't even remember which one it was. 2021 maybe, 2022. I still came away with that, but it wasn't, it didn't feel like enough.
Yeah.
Because I knew it should have been more. And if I wasn't within touching distance of them and I wasn't like pushing for them as hard as I was, I'd probably still be lifting now, because there would have been nothing to like push that hard for. And I could have taken a little bit more time to like rehab, but the way it was like, right, okay, my rehab has a time limit because prep has to start.
Things have to start ramping up, innit?
And yeah, that was just the way it was. That was just the way I wanted to be, and I don't regret it at all. Like I'm so happy with the like powerlifting career that I did and I had. It's taught me a lot. Yeah, but
so how would you sort of like, what was in your rehab then? Were you doing a lot of like unilateral work to try and strengthen up, and would you say do the weaker side first, rest, and then go to the stronger side? What were you doing, like to Bulgarians, lateral squats, or
yeah,
what was in there?
Yeah, it was a lot of unilateral, a lot of moving, like just trying to get my joints moving. At the point of like my SI being like really flary, it was a balancing act of like moving and trying to load as much as possible, but not to a point where like I'm going to piss that off.
Yeah.
Because that Christmas Day deadlift that we didn't hear, I tried to pull
you
240.
You load 240. That's why we don't do 240 here.
Yeah,
I told my coach last night.
Yeah.
He's like, what's 240? I want to know what 240 is. It's just a number that we don't do in here because it's a fucking curse.
Yeah, I put that on the bar. I tried to break it off the floor, and like my SI I felt it.
That was Christmas Day, wasn't it? With the Kabuki deadlift bar.
Yeah, I just felt it go pop, and I was like, oh fuck, I can't move. And I was floor ridden for about half an hour.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was what I was like balancing with. Is like, right, I need to rehab and prehab, I have to load my muscles. Like I need to get them stronger so they are resilient to injury.
But not in such a short distance, short time.
Yeah, but not in a stupid way, or not a way that's going to piss off my back, because if I do that, then I'm cooked, I'm done.
Yeah.
So it was just a balancing act the whole time. It just got fucking like stressful and unenjoyable to do.
Yeah.
Which is the main thing. Like I was, when I stopped, when I called it a day, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to have this stress. Yeah. I don't want to fucking put knee sleeves on, feel this heavy weight on my back and think this feels shit.
But then if you think like that, it overlaps the next week. So I've done that where I've prepped where that didn't feel good. And you go like, it still went and still moves. It just feels really fucking hard. And you take that momentum into the next week, and it just feels like it's getting harder and harder. Yeah. But you just show up and you just get it done, don't you? But I guess for you, it's like when you're injured, you know, like this is such a high risk, and you got such a short period of time to try and get ready again. It's just like you said, it's just not enjoyable, innit? Yeah.
At that point, there was just too many injuries that I was balancing, and similar to like you, when I was coming in and when I was training, I would send it because I was like, I can't have a thought of an injury happening. I can't be thinking like in the bottom of my squat, like, oh, what if my knee just like pops here? What if on this next deadlift, like my back just says like no and I'm done for like the next 2 months? Like I never ever thought that way. And you can't, like, as an athlete, I don't think you can if you're lifting these weights. But
equally, don't be a fucking idiot and just think like you're indestructible. Like
Yeah.
you might be indestructible when you're like in your 20s and stuff. When like you go out on the sesh, you go out like pissed up, and you come back, do your lectures, and then go right. Fuck it, I've got a gap. Go load up, and your warm up would be 100 kilos on the bar straight away, squatting like 180. That's what I did at uni, hitting PBs every week.
Yeah.
There's just no way. If I have bad night's sleep now, it's just like get folded in half.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. So yeah, it's one of them, and like it is what it is. But I'm so glad I learned all the stuff that I did from that. Like
it makes you a better coach because you have a better understanding because you've gone through it. I think sometimes it is just a frustration of like when you've got some people that are like, I want to do this by this point. It's like, it's just be realistic. You can't just, I know you want to, but just be realistic. You're better off undershooting than to overshoot.
yeah,
It's that fine balance of like, you need to be aware of it, but don't be a pussy. But don't be too much of a dog and try to send it.
yeah. Injuries are a massive balancing act, and like I say, it's what I've learned, and it's what I try and like coach around now. Is to like, right, okay, someone's come to me with like a niggle. Okay, like we have to be mindful of this, that like it could turn into something if we're fucking stupid. But if it's just a niggle, like people get niggles all the time, and like if you've got a specific goal that has a deadline, then you're gonna have to.
You just have to find a different path to work around it.
Yeah.
Whereas to reduce the ROM or something, reduce the load, do tempos, there's always a way.
Yeah. Yeah. And injuries are fascinating to me, and coaching around injuries is fascinating to me because I've had a couple of people come to me and they've said, all right, when, I don't know, like 2 years ago, let's say, like just for instance, I got really bad knee pain. This is what the client's saying. I get knee pain like when I squat, and I get some like shoulder pain when I deadlift. Okay, cool. Right, what have you done to rehab that? And they're like, oh, I stay away from safety bar squats because that's what like really hurts them. And I'm like, right, okay. Why are you staying away from that?
Trunk strength's weak then, isn't it?
If that is the problem, like we need to 100% address that because something in there is going wrong. So let's have a look at the pattern that is going on in the safety bar squat to see if there's anything like screaming that is like mechanically inefficient. And then if there's not, you are weak at safety bar squats. So we have to get you stronger in this. So then come your top end squats, like when we're trying to push volume to get you to that British deadlift or like the British squat record or the British title that you want. Like if we're trying to push volume for that, you're not going to fall apart because we never addressed these safety bar squats like 6 months ago.
That's the thing with powerlifting. Like we're just in our sport, just moving from A to B as efficient as possible, and that is just all we do is just brace and move in a single plane movement. So like prime example is like when I think I was set like alternating dumbbell press. It might be single on flat dumbbell press, and I found myself like having to engage my core, twist a little bit, and then the next day I was like, oh fucking, I'm really really sore. Like obliques are really sore, and it was like hay fever season as well. So I just went sneeze and I twisted like that. And I blew a rib out at the back. I was like, fuck, I could barely move. I was like, it starts to hurt to breathe. And I was like, fuck. And yes, because I was very good at bracing and moving up and down.
Yeah.
But there was no twist and turn from me. So no lateral movement, no rotational. And that's why it's important to like, you need to add those things in.
Yeah.
Because powerlifting isn't everything. You need, if your body's able to move around, you should be able to do it.
Yeah, and it's important for day-to-day life as well, isn't it? Yeah. Like you don't know what you're gonna do. Like your partner might ask and be like, can you just like bring that shopping bag in, or like reach that thing off the top shelf, or do some hoovering?
Let
And
me
then
put my
all of a
belt on,
sudden,
brace.
brace, push, double hand, like with a hoover. It's like, that's not going to happen. You're going to like put one foot in front of the other, you're going to twist, and then all of a sudden you're going to say, oh, I've got really bad back because I did some hoovering. Like,
That's one thing as well. You find that because you learn to brace so much that even sometimes, like when you do some isolations, that you don't need to be doing that. You do it like even on your push down sometimes. So you just bracing really hard to do it.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to. Or when you're doing your side raises, sat down or anything like that.
Yeah.
You're just so used to bracing.
yeah, yeah. It's one of them weird things as well, because like when I try and explain it to lifters as to like, right, why I'm putting so much movement in there is like, okay, I can not put the movement in there, and in like over the course of this next year, yeah, I might be able to push your SBD volume more, and you might be able to hit a 2.5 kilo
Yeah.
like PR.
Because if they just like come up on the squat and they start to twist, they're not going to fold in half.
Yeah.
You still maybe grind it out.
Yeah, and then so they might hit this 2.5. Oh, let's say 5. They might hit a 5 kilo PR at the end of year 1, and then at the end of year 1, a freak injury happens for something, and then they're out for year 2, and then year 3 we're starting minus 20 kilos. So overall we're at minus 15. Option 2 is, right, okay, we put like movement exercises in there, we put like a good amount of rehab and prehab in there, but that means that your squat, bench and deadlift volume is going to be reduced a little bit because you've got fatigue going on in other places. At the end of
That
year...
sounds boring though.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me max out.
The end of year 1...
Let me have it.
You might not have any PR, you might still be at the same place. But you're still powerlifting.
Sounds boring still.
The
You're not
end of
selling
year
it to me.
2, you might get a 5 kilo PR, and then end of year 3, again, we've done all this prehab stuff. The end of year 3, you've still got nothing, but you're still up 5 kilos. Whereas person 1 that just pushed SBD is down 15. Like, people don't look at that long goal, and it's boring. Like you say, it's boring.
Just purely decided. It depends on where that person is in their career.
Yeah.
The younger they are, the more of a dog they've got in them,
Yeah.
and that feeling of I'm indestructible. So they're not. That sounds really boring to them.
Yeah.
Whereas for me, it's like now it's like, what am I going to do in the next 3-4 years? Like, probably not just powerlift. I'll probably do other sports, or might be back into martial arts, or might have a life outside of powerlifting.
Yeah.
Because like, I think, you know, once you got a few injuries, you're like, oh my God, my body feels so shit. Getting up this morning is like, there's a life outside of it. So you tend to be a bit more, not reserved, but just smarter with your training.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas they're not going to buy into that. Like, you want me to do all this really super boring stuff. Like, if you put it at the end of it, yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
That's what you'll have to put it at the start of the session so they can't escape it, but it's whether they're going to do it or not.
Yeah. Yeah. So
They don't
like,
buy into it.
Yeah. I try and, whenever I get someone like that, I try and say like, me as the case study, like, I wish I did that stuff. And like back at uni when I was doing fitness and when I was doing other sports, I was probably the most injury free and felt the best I ever have.
At uni?
Yeah, at uni, because I was moving. And then the year after, was I still playing cricket? I think I was still playing cricket that year after. And again, like, it was a fairly high level cricket, so there was a lot of fitness involved, and a lot of like change of direction, moving, fitness, power, so that I was doing other stuff. But yeah, since then it was just powerlifting, up and down, and I struggled. But people don't see it, do they? They don't see the big picture of, right, okay,
You'll have glory in that.
Yeah, you will have a longer career in powerlifting and a better career if you do these boring exercises. You will have a longer career. And it's like the kid that came in, you know, that young one that his mum sent him down. I was like, right, okay, we need to chill out. We need to do like other stuff. And he was just like, nah, he fully checked out. And I lost a client. I've lost numerous clients.
Yeah, because you probably wanted 240 in the bar.
Yeah.
You didn't let him put it on.
He did. He wanted 240 with straps and he had a competition next week.
Did he actually want 240?
No, he didn't. He wanted to pull PRs with straps on. And I was like, you're not going to use straps in a competition. Like, so, and your competition is in 2 weeks' time. We need to work on your grip.
2 weeks' time, you had a 2 week prep.
He was just like, all right, okay, and he never came back. But people are like that, and I've lost numerous clients just through trying to be honest with them. And like, I'm not gonna, as a coach, I'm not gonna go out and like break someone when I know there's a better way. Like, I'll let someone else do that. If someone else wants to have that on their conscience, cool. But like, for me, I'll stick with doing it like the way that I stand by.
Yeah, but I suppose he's just telling like, you're not about that life. You have not got that in you, and then they'll just go off to someone else anyway because they don't like to hear what you've just said.
Yeah.
They want you to be like, I can get you to that.
Yeah.
What's your deadlift now? 180, 300, mate.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 300. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They don't like to tell them like, mate, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
You need to be realistic. You need to at least put in like 2 years of graft, not missing sessions, getting all your meals in, getting all your sessions in. Yeah, it sounds like too much work for 2 years as well. It's a long time to be working for that.
Yeah.
They're not going to do it.
Yeah. But yeah, I suppose, I don't know, we should probably wrap up. But on the whole, I wish people were more open-minded to doing the boring stuff and the movement because, yeah, short term, it's not going to put as much on your total, but it will
Make you more robust, innit?
It will 100% make you healthier day to day. It will 100% keep you in the sport longer. And if you think instead of getting that 2.5 PR this year, you can get a 5 or 10 kilo PR in 2-3 years time and not be injured and not be completely wrecked, written off with surgeries, whatever, I wish people would do that. And from a coaching perspective, I'm absolutely not saying if you get like a little niggle, like that's it, like
done.
Don't do
Just
anything.
quit now.
You need to be able to like, you need to be able to read your body, trust your coach.
Yeah. Or just do what you want, like they always do.
Yeah.
I'll just do what I want. Pretty sure I didn't tell you to load up today. Yeah, it felt good though.
Yeah, that's it.
Good, yeah.
I felt good. I'm gonna load a PR.
Oh yeah, don't.
But you're competing next weekend. Yeah, I felt good though.
Have a pint on the night before as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's a shout actually. Powerlifting news. How did Will get on at the weekend?
He got 252 on a squat, and that moved all right actually. That was quite good. And then I think bench he got 117, just short of his PB. I think 120 is his PB, and then he pulled 252 as well. The squat and the deadlift looked like it had a little bit left in the tank as well. So Joe should be worried. Joe's part of our crew, and he's one of my guys, so he should be worried. Yeah, you'll get demoted otherwise.
Yeah, Joe needs to bring the dog out.
Yeah, he does need to bring the dog out. That's right. So fingers crossed he's competing this Sunday with Owen as well, and Rob from the gym, and one of the girls that I've got, Ella. So it'll be a good do. WRPF comp in Wakefield, Viking Strength.
Nice.
Yeah, nice run around the corner.
Yeah, so if you're around, can go show some support to them.
Yeah, it'll be a good comp.
Yeah. Other big news as well. Ray Bowring.
Who?
Ray Bowring.
I don't follow powerlifting. I like powerlifting. I like lifting, and I like hanging around friends, and I follow the guys that I know. I don't really like. I'm not mad on powerlifting.
Fair.
But tell me.
So Ray squatted 500 kilos. Ray's 23, I think. At 23, so he did the British Equipped at the weekend.
Oh, heard about that. Yeah.
Squatted 500.
That's mental.
Benched.
And that's in sleeves, not wraps, not equipped. Or is that equipped?
Yeah, that's equipped. So wrap suit.
Single ply.
Yeah.
Multiply.
Single, I think. Pretty sure
Walked
seen him.
out 500 kilos.
Yeah, 500 kilos
Oh,
at 23. I'm sure he's either 23 or 24. At like that age is
That's fucking nuts,
madness.
that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to look that up now.
yeah. It didn't even look that difficult. Like I saw
Did
it. He
not.
did 470 for a double in training, and they were like speed reps. I was
So
like,
what did he open up with?
I don't know I just know that was his heaviest squat, his third. What did he bench? He benched.
That's obviously that's a record, right? So
Yeah.
you would take
Yeah, that was a British record. He benched 322. That could be wrong though. Something like that. It's in the threes somewhere, which again,
Still
ridiculous.
mental.
Deadlifted 372 for a 1,222.5 total. Big that.
23.
23.
Loads of years left.
Walked out on a power bar. Yeah.
I
mad.
do not want to be spotting that.
Nah. They had 7 spotters on that.
Jeez. 3 aside.
Yeah, 3 aside and 1 back.
There's no way I'd ever do a back spot. I'd have to do the side, and even then I'd be like that on the bar, wouldn't I? Too short.
Yeah, Ray's a giant, and he posted afterwards. He was like, "We're just getting started." So I'm very excited to see. He will be going to Worlds this year at some point.
When's that?
Not sure, but yeah, I'm very excited to see that because his dad Dean is the only British male to win in the super heavies equipped British. So Ray wants to bring that back, basically.
Yeah.
Father and son.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah. it's cool, that.
Bringing equip back.
Yeah, bringing equip back.
Yeah.
I remember I did my first British and I saw Ray on the side. He was like 13 years old. This is how long I've been powerlifting. He was like 13 years old, tiny, like watching his dad like help his dad's lifters basically. And he was just there like, oh yeah, like I'm thinking about getting into powerlifting.
He would have been big as well, didn't he? Was he big then?
Yeah, he was still big then. He looked like a fully grown like man.
Yeah.
He was a cool kid. He was like, he looks very much like he does now. Just like chubby little face, blonde kid.
I need to look him up. That's nuts.
Yeah. But yeah, he was back then, like 10 years ago, whatever, he was like, oh yeah, I'm going to like try and follow my dad in the sport. And then since then, it's just mental.
It's mad how fast time flies, isn't it?
Yeah. But he's been out for 5 years from British lifting because of Article 14.
Well, what did he do?
He competed, so he got a scholarship for an American university and he competed on the American university.
US APL.
Yes. Yeah. So he competed over there for his scholarship, and the IPF said, "Fuck you."
Fuck him.
Yeah, one of probably the best lifters that will walk in equipped. Like he will be similar to Blaine, and they were just like, "Yeah, like you're not competing for the next 3 years."
God, imagine not having to walk it out as well in a mono. How much more you'd add.
Yeah,
Love to see it.
I'd love to see it.
Crossover. Leave him.
Yeah, do strongman. Take the Luke Richardson route.
You know, squat and strongman though, do they?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Rarely.
Oh, sometimes they do it with the big wheels, don't they? On the axle.
Yeah, onto like a pin squat.
Fuck that.
Yeah. Yeah. Right, anyway, we're going to wrap up. See you next week. Don't know what we're going to talk about next week yet.
Well, if she shows up, maybe we'll talk about something. What we'll talk about. We'll think of something by then.
Yeah, we'll think of something. If not, we'll put a question box and we'll get some questions in. Maybe we'll do that.
Yeah.
Right, goodbye.